Other little things besides that, probably the biggest moment of his West Ham United career, I would suggest, was that night in Prague 2 years ago, just over, where we lifted the Conference League trophy. He was in the starting lineup in that particular match in Prague, where obviously we pulled off the trophy and he carried off with a winner's medal. Now, the sad part about it is, and look, nothing lasts forever. And I guess that probably the way that the finish of his West Ham United career probably is less than ideal. He obviously had a car accident, which I think a lot of people say that he was very lucky to get out of that in essentially in one piece. He had to have a lot of surgery to put bones together, and he was off for quite some time to heal. And I think a lot of people thought that he would do well just to walk again, let alone play Premier League football. But he always had it that he wanted to come back and play football at the top level, ideally with West Ham United, but it was just going to be a miracle just to get back on the pitch, whoever it was for. Now, the story goes is that in the summer his contract ran out and he was still training with the club. He was trying to get his fitness back, and we did, by all accounts, offer him a contract. However, because of the situation with his fitness, it was on vastly reduced terms compared to what he was on before as far as a basic is concerned. Apparently it was heavily incentivized towards appearances, goals, assists, and things like that. Rumor goes that it was effectively the contract that in the end was taken up by his friend Callum Wilson. Irony of ironies. So, but however, despite the fact that Michail Antonio decided that the contract that he was offered by the club wasn't for him, the club and he obviously still had, by the looks of it, a cordial enough relationship, because he was still training until a short time ago with the under 21s in a bid to gain fitness. And I guess that probably a lot of people, myself included, thought that it may well be that if we get in a little bit of a pickle as far as a striker situation is concerned, and if Michail Antonio looked like he was getting back to some sort of semblance of full fitness, that maybe there was a deal to be struck. Alas, it seems that that particular door has been shut, because the last we heard he was training at Brentford. Whether Brentford offer him a contract or not, we're not entirely sure. There are stories doing the rounds that it may well be that Brentford are not going to offer him a contract, but he's apparently been training at Brentford. Now, I think the way that the West Ham United career of Michail Antonio finished, I think is very regrettable.